I smell when she love my cologne. Talk that shit, but baby, lower your tone. Yeah. Say my name when we fucking my song. Oh, my baby, love how we be getting it on. If I was your nigga and you was my bitch, you know we poppin' hot shit. I'm at my sense fit.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a beginner makeup tutorial using all affordable products. This is my second time filming this video. So if that ain't dedication, I don't know what the fuck it is, okay? Because the editing app that I was using, iMovie, I had edited the whole video. It took me all day, and I tried to download it to my camera roll, and it said I didn't have enough storage, so I tried deleting some stuff, tried to go back onto the app, and the app wouldn't open. Still isn't opening. So I decided to refilm the video, and so y'all better give me a thumbs up, okay? Y'all better give me a thumbs up, okay? Please. I feel like I deserve it. But anyways, yeah, if you guys want to see how I got this simple look right here, then keep on watching. I'm just going to be using the spoolie to brush out my eyebrows. And I'm going to be using this LA Girl Perfect Precision eyeliner, and this is in the shade dark brown. I'm using this for my eyebrows. I think this was like $1, maybe $2. But if you don't like using pencils, you can use a pomade. This is from Morphe. I think the Morphe eyebrow products are inexpensive as well. Pomades look like this, if you don't know. They're more like a gel consistency. These are just really, really pigmented, so be careful using this if you're a beginner. When I first started doing makeup, this is what I used, so depends on what you like. I am more of a pencil girl right now, so that's what I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna start at the tail of my brow. I'm just going to underline the tail first, like that, and then slowly work my way towards the front. And the closer you get to the front, the less pressure you apply to the pencil. You want to be really lightly in the front, like the very front of your brow, because you don't want the front to be too dark. And I know y'all seen people with eyebrows that are too dark in the front, okay? And it's not cute. See how I barely put any product right there. After you draw that little line, you want to take your spoolie again and then just blend it up to where you can barely see it. Now I'm going to start at the top of my arch and go down to the tail and then just connect it right there. Now I'm going to do the same thing that I did at the bottom of my brow. I'm just going to slowly work my way forwards, but apply less pressure the closer you get to the front. And now we're just going to fill it in. The tail is going to be the darkest, obviously, and then the closer you get to the front, like I said, you barely want to add any product. Again, and lightly brush through my brow just to spread out the product evenly. I'm gonna do the other brow and I'll be right back. Now we're gonna clean them up with concealer. The concealer I'm gonna use is the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Medium Beige. This shade is like about a couple shades lighter than my skin tone. I don't like to go too light with my concealer underneath my eyebrow, because in my opinion, I just don't like that look. So I either use a shade that's a couple shades lighter or use a shade that's the same skin tone. Okay, now I'm gonna be taking a flat brush that looks like this. This is the Morphe M166 brush, and I'm gonna use this to carve out my brows, to clean up any mistakes or anything that you made, or to just make it look more sharp. Now if you use this concealer, you want to blend it out fast because the only downside about this concealer is that it dries really quickly. So I'm just going to blend that concealer out. It's super full coverage though. Okay, so after you're done concealing under your brow, this is in the green bottle and it has a brush tip so you can brush the glue on. I like to use this on my brows to lock the hairs in place. This makes sure your brow hairs don't move and the product doesn't move at all. So I just like to take a little bit and then just apply it over my brow. And then before it dries down, I like to brush it through my brow hairs really lightly. Okay, so afterwards it is gonna feel a little sticky, but the product doesn't move at all, see? It's crazy, like, I love using Duo Glue for my eyebrows. It's a game changer, okay? So now we're just gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do the same thing that we did to the bottom brow. We're just gonna conceal the top. And I like using a concealer that's closer to my skin tone for the top of my brow. If I use a lighter one, it's gonna give you that halo brow and I don't like that. So you can either use a concealer that's closer to your skin tone or you can just use your foundation. But today I'm gonna use concealer and I'm gonna just outline the top. Okay, now after I'm done blending out the concealer on the top of my brow, I like to just go over the front of my brows with this brush that we've been using to blend out the concealer. And this is the Morphe M173 brush. And I like to just lightly go over the front just to lighten up the front even more. Now we're gonna move on to the eyes. So I'm not doing any eyeshadow in this video, but usually if I do eyeshadow, I like to use a really light concealer on my eyelids. But since we're not doing eyeshadow, I'm just gonna use one that's closer to my skin tone, or this is a little bit lighter, but it still works. As long as it's either your skin tone or just a couple shades lighter, it's fine. I'm just gonna apply a little, that was a lot, but you don't need much. Just a little bit like that. And then I'm gonna blend it out all over my eyelid. The reason why I still like to add concealer on my eyelid is because my eyelids are dark and I'm not trying to look like a raccoon, but for real, yeah, my eyelids are dark and this makes everything look more even if you cover up the darkness on your eye area. Now we're gonna set it with some loose setting powder. You can use any powder you want, but I just like to use loose setting powder to set my eyelids. Okay, I'm gonna do some eyeliner. This eyeliner is from Sephora. It's not really a drugstore brand, but it is pretty inexpensive. It's only $12. You don't have to use liquid eyeliner. You can use a gel eyeliner. I'm not really a fan of gel eyeliners just because I'm just not good at using gel eyeliners. I've never really been good at using them. Or you can use pencil liners. This is a pencil liner that I was using for my brows, but you can use pencil eyeliner, liquid eyeliner, gel eyeliner, whatever you prefer, you use it. If you don't want to use eyeliner, you can just skip this step, but I'm gonna show y'all how I do my wing. I'm gonna start off by drawing a line across my lash line. okay? And take your time with this, especially doing eyeliner. This is probably one of the most challenging parts of makeup for a lot of people. So you want to start off the line small like this. You can leave it like this if you don't like your eyeliner too thick, but I like mine thick, especially if I'm not wearing eyeshadow. So I start off thin and then I slowly build the line thicker and thicker, because you don't want to start off too thick, because you can always add more. You can never take away. So, I mean, you can try to take away, but it's going to be real hard, okay? Slowly build this line up first. And I think that's about how thick I want mine. Then I'm going to start drawing the wing. I'm going to start at the corner of my eye, then drag the line up diagonal about halfway to my tail of my brow. And then I'm going to connect the lines together. And then it's going to be like a little triangle. And then you just want to fill the wing in. I'm gonna do my other wing off camera and then I'll be right back. Your eyeliner doesn't come out even. As you can see, mine is not even at all. Don't beat yourself up over it. It happens a lot. And don't try to make them even, because you're just gonna make the wing thicker and thicker and thicker until you got basically a black smoky eye. Just leave it alone. We're gonna move on to the next step. Now I'm just gonna apply some mascara. The mascara I like to use is the Maybelline Colossal. It's in this yellow and purple bottle. The only thing about this mascara is it stinks. It stinks. It smells like flowers or something. Like, not flowers don't stink, but like it smells like pollen. It smells like, yeah, it smells like pollen, like bees and stuff. I can't explain it, but now that my eyelashes don't look all dusty no more, we're gonna move on to the base. First thing you want to start off with is primer. Primer is really important in your foundation routine because it can help your makeup last longer, and it can help control oils if you're oily. They have certain primers for oily skin, matte primers. They have primers for people that have pores. If you can see your pores through your foundation, they have poreless primers like this one. Or if your skin looks dry and crackly after you apply your foundation, then they have dewy primers for people with dry skin. But I like this poreless primer from e.l.f. It makes my skin look smooth as okay, and that's all I gotta say. If you have oily skin, definitely try out the matte version. I don't have oily skin. My skin is actually pretty dry, so I like to use this one. This one is more moisturizing, but definitely try out the matte one if you have oily skin, because this formula is bomb. So I took 2 scoops on my finger, and I'm just gonna apply it in the center of my face and on my chin, and then you're just gonna rub it in. Now we're gonna go in with foundation. Today's foundation I'm gonna be using is the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the dewy and smooth version. They also have a matte and poreless, but like I said, my skin is dry. I'm in the shade 330 Toffee. These don't have a pump. You have to pour it out, so be careful, because it's really easy to pour too much. So I'm gonna pour about this much on the back of my hand. Then I'm just gonna take this little flat foundation brush and I'm gonna apply it all over my face. I don't have to use as much as I'm gonna use. If you don't like that much coverage, then don't use as much, but I like my face beat, okay? So I'm gonna apply a lot. Okay, so now I'm gonna blend out my foundation. You can either use a brush or you can use a beauty blender sponge. I use both, it just depends on what mood I'm in. Beauty blender sponges, they soak up some of the product, so it takes away some of your coverage. Brushes don't do that. They keep the same coverage. Don't get me wrong, beauty blender sponges are bomb. They just tend to shear out your foundation. So if you like more full coverage, then I prefer a brush, but whatever you prefer, either one is fine. But today I'm using a brush. So before I like to blend out my foundation, I like to spray it with a setting spray. It creates a more dewy finish, so it's easier to blend out my foundation. Now I'm gonna blend it out. Just gonna tap it in. Do not swipe, because you're gonna create brush strokes on your face. Okay, after you're done blending out your foundation, we're gonna move on to concealer. I have two options for you guys. I have the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer or the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. This one is about medium light to medium coverage, but you can definitely build it up. This concealer is full coverage. So, and they're both really cheap. I think this one's maybe $7 and this one was $6. So I'm gonna use the e.l.f. because I like full coverage. I'm using the shade Medium Beige again. And I'm just gonna apply the concealer where I need it, which is right here on my dark circles. And then I like to apply some on my chin, my nose, and then my forehead. And I like to take a concealer that's about my skin tone and go over my brows one more time. Now we're gonna quickly blend out our concealer, because like I said, this concealer dries really fast, so you wanna move quickly when you blend this out. For my chin, my nose, and my forehead, I'm gonna use my foundation brush. This is the Real Techniques Instapop Cheek Brush. You can also use Morphe brushes too. They're inexpensive as well for good quality. But Real Techniques, they have really good face brushes. Their eyeshadow brushes, I haven't really tried them, but their face brushes are really good. Now I'm gonna use this Real Techniques setting brush, and I'm gonna use this to blend out my concealer. And I'm just gonna blend out the edges of the concealer so everything blends together. We're gonna set our concealer. I'm gonna be using Maybelline Fit Me Loose Setting Powder. This is in the shade 10 Fair Light. Dump it in the cap. I'm gonna take the setting brush again. I just wipe off the concealer. Try to go into the powder while there's concealer still on the brush. It's gonna look horrible. I'm going to set underneath my eye. I usually set my eye and then bake after, but for the sake of this video, I will not be baking today. I'm just gonna set everything with powder. Forgot to blend the concealer out on my eyebrows. I like to take the brush again and then to slightly feather it in the front of my brow to make that ombre effect. Don't put too much powder though, because then it'll just look white in front of your eyebrow and then you're gonna be f***ed. Now we're gonna go in with pressed powder to set the rest of my face. This Maybelline, this Fit Me line is bomb as fuck. All the products from the Fit Me line is bomb. Now I'm using the pressed powder. Looks like this. This is in the shade 332 Golden Beige, Golden Caramel, sorry. And I'm gonna be using a This is a foundation brush, but I like to use it to pack on my powder, and it's because it's really dense, like super dense. So it's a good brush to use to pack powder on your face. I like to lightly go over the areas too where I applied that loose powder, just so everything blends together. Now I'm gonna apply some bronzer or contour, whatever you wanna call it. This is from, the name scratched off, so I'm not sure where this came from. My sister gave this to me. It says something Revolution, but it's really big. It looks like this. I'm just gonna use this brush. This is the Morphe E4. I'm going to tap into this, tap off the excess. You see where my cheekbone is? I'm gonna apply it from here and up. Nowhere down here. We're gonna apply it from here up. And bronzer just brings back all the color to your face so you don't look washed out in all one color. You can apply some under your chin if you have a double chin like me. Now I'm gonna apply some blush. This is from Sephora in the color Too Hot, but unfortunately this is discontinued. But this is my favorite blush, so I'm gonna use this. I like to apply it to the apples of my cheeks and back. Before I apply my highlight, I like to spray my face first, and I'm gonna use the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. And I'm gonna drown myself in this, okay? And before it gets dry, I like to pat it into my skin, lightly pat it. But you don't want to do it while it's still really wet, because then you're gonna move the product around and you're gonna be mad as I'm gonna be applying highlight. This is Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade Golden Flower Crown. And I'm gonna use this Morphe M501 brush. It just looks like a dome brush. And then I like to apply my highlight on the apples of my cheeks too, and then go up. Now you're gonna apply your lashes. You can use any kind of lashes you want. They can be natural, dramatic, 25 millimeter, 35, 40. I like dramatic, so I'm gonna use these. I think these are like 22 millimeter, 20 or 22. These are the lashes I showed you guys in my last video from Beatdown Cosmetics in the style Baby Doll. I'm gonna show y'all how I apply my lashes, okay? Take the Duo Glue again in the green bottle and just apply the glue to the lash band. A thin, even layer. I'm gonna do that to both lashes. So while they're getting tacky, I'm going to apply a thin coat of this eyelash glue on my lash line. You don't wanna get too much, okay? Just wipe the sides off, because if you get too much, it might drip down into your eye and you're gonna be mad as fuck. Because I've had that happen to a client before and I was mad. Yeah, we're gonna just draw a line across the lash line. We're gonna put it in the middle, like that. Connect one corner, connect the other corner. And then your lash is on there. It's not going nowhere. stuck like glue. This technique, and they literally do not come off all day, like at all. This eyelash glue is like super glue. Y'all need to try that glue out instead of the Duo glue and like the blue and white squeeze tube. Nah, get the green bottle with the brush. So I'm just gonna apply some mascara on my bottom lashes. I'm not wearing any lipstick today because this is just a simple look. So, and then I'm gonna put my wig on, and then I'll be back with the outro. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in my next video.